Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. Yes, so Bitcoin on the 4-hour, what an absolute beautiful move we've got going on here. Obviously we broke this trend line, we broke these highs, we accelerated up into, well, literally bang on the underside of our next level of resistance on a 4-hour 9, no less, where we are now trading a bit of sideways to down. Yeah, and that is it. It is the weekend. Do we get continuation here? Do we get a nice push through basically 50,000? And then at which point I think we would pretty quickly find our way up to 53,000. Or are we going to have a little bit of a back test down towards, I mean, realistically we'd have to draw the horizontal about here. So it would be about mid 47,000s. Are we going to get a little bit of a pullback, print a very nice looking higher low, higher low, yeah, higher low, that's right, print a nice higher low at that point, and then find our way above 50,000. But all in all, this is looking very good. This is looking very good. We are at one of those important levels, but we are basically smashing out this level with quite a bit of force here, quite a bit of momentum force. So we have got every chance of breaking through here. Be it this today, be it tomorrow, be it when traditional markets open on Sunday evening stroke Monday. At some point I think we are gonna get that move towards 53,000, and then that would be one of my prime candidates for a medium term high, and then we come and test some downside. But obviously we would have to wait for, well, first to get there, then the rejection, and then to see what happens before we do identify that as a medium term high and potentially even the new trading range. The reason we do have to wait because we could break through that and we could end up towards 58,000. So the next level would be 58,000. That would be pretty epic. And in the bigger scheme of things, that could be the absolute perfect bull trap zone. We do a bit of distribution. We distribute all over everyone, and then we crash back down. And then potentially make a lower low relative to these lows here, with this would have been a lower high relative to these high here. So we are not out of the woods here. That is why if you guys have been following, I would change my the video titles to bullish once we're basically above this $58,500 level. At that point I think we are onwards and upwards, but anything below that is prime candidate for a big macro bear bull trap. That's the one. No, I'm not saying that is going to happen, but we just will not be out of the woods until we get above, well, we could even just round it up to 59,000, and then we can pretty confidently, as confident as one can be in markets which are all based on probabilities, that we will basically take out these all-time highs and continue up towards 100k. So yeah, I think things are looking good. Just the main takeaway, like I have been saying, we just want to establish a new, nice, juicy, wide range, higher than this, obviously, as far the top of the range, as far away from the bottom of the range, which is obviously the top of our previous range. So we then have got lots of wiggle room to then build up a head of steam, and then continue on upwards. We need to build that cause, to use a Wyckoff terminology. So we'll build the cause, and the bigger the cause, the bigger the effect. So yeah, not looking too bad. Ethereum, as one would expect, is obviously lagging Bitcoin whilst Bitcoin is making these moves. But once Bitcoin does establish that high, be it here, be it 52, 53, be it 58, or does basically start to trade sideways, even if we then continue upwards, that would be when I'd expect Ethereum would start to really get a move on. But at the moment, obviously, we all know Bitcoin is the the leader for the vast majority of it, of the price action. Anyone and everyone can always just trade the Bitcoin, leverage Bitcoin, trade it on leverage to get some nice moves, and then just when they've made loads of profit doing that and Bitcoin has stopped moving, then they can start to look to distribute those profits into alts, and that's pretty much the market dynamics of why it does operate that way. Stock markets, obviously, as you can see, always got to buy the dip, as we knew this. This is just how it rolls. We basically need to speak about this as well. I mean, just buy the dip. The Fed isn't going to taper. People are going to keep buying. We are in a Austrian school of economics, Ludwig von Mises crack up boom. We are off to the races. So yeah, just onwards and upwards. I mean, you might as well buy the market, because when the market eventually does crash, it's game over for everything anyway. So there is only one game in town. It is up only. Anyway, this is obviously clearly in nominal terms. I mean, if you look at it in real terms, with inflation doing what inflation is doing, it's not going to quite look the same. But yeah, nominal values. We are going full Venezuela. DXY though, having a little bit of a pullback, but realistically, if it finds a nice bit of support in this level, we can continue onwards and upwards. But again, as I say, I mean, relative to our markets, our crypto, our beloved crypto, this is fiat against fiat comparison. The actual fiat against Bitcoin comparison, the actual dollar versus Bitcoin comparison, is a literal Bitcoin price chart. And if we just want to look at how that looks, it doesn't look too bad. It does not look too bad, does it? So yeah. So we'll just go back to the DXY again. But yeah, DXY is not looking too bad at all here. So yeah, continuing potentially upwards. Maybe we have maybe we're going to sort of develop a bit of a wedge at some point, or a channel, or some sort of bearish rising formation, where we will print bearish divergences on higher time frames, and then we will potentially get a reversal or a pullback. But yeah, until that happens, you just keep seeing what happens. Bitcoin dominance as well, potentially flagging out on the low of this move down. I mean, if it does find traction above this, we'll just extend this along this level. Then yeah, I mean, we can easily come in and tap into, well, either into this area or even up to the 46. But my inclination is going to come down, because I'm just ever the optimist. But yeah, and if we do, I mean, 42. I mean, this zone realistically is the next targets. We should probably bang a horizontal in here. Let's delete that. Let's find the correct one I'm looking for. This is it, horizontal line. We'll put that in there. It is a bit thick. Yep, there we go. And then we'll just quickly, if I can, put a rectangle in here as well. So yeah, this would be basically the next level we'll be aiming at for the Bitcoin dominance, before ultimately finding a macro bottom potentially in this area here. Remember, this is percentages. So yeah, it obviously would become increasingly difficult for us to get to lower percentages. So yeah, 10-year, it's good. This is just really realistically what we want to see, just not drawing any attention to itself. Gold that they smashed, they absolutely hammered it. They did their best, yet we have found ourselves basically back into that range. They absolutely trolleyed this. We had this sideways sort of range. They absolutely hammered it, as you can see, down to almost this next level. Realistically, if I pulled it up a bit, it is at that level, which is probably where it should have been, a bit higher up. But yeah, and now we find ourselves back up here. So at the end of the day, the central banks, they can print money, they can do whatever, but they are accumulating physical gold. So realistically, they don't care what the price is. They're happy to smash the price lower and then potentially get that physical cheaper. Although there is obviously a premium on physical, but not necessarily with the amount central banks buy. Yes, now Ethereum USD, this is looking poised. For a move. yes, keep an eye on that. Is this potentially a bit of a bull flag? And is this the flagpole? I mean, just for some pure mental masturbation, we'll just we'll just entertain the idea that it is, and just see realistically where that puts us. Yeah, basically back roughly all-time highs, and if we get back to all-time highs, we'd expect beyond. So but I'm not necessarily that is what is the pattern is here, but hey, it could be. At the end of the day, I expect all-time highs and beyond an $8,000 Ethereum anyway. Yeah, so whatever pattern or whatever way it chooses to make its way up there, that is what I think is the likely scenario. So let's have a look at those stochastics now. Those stochastics, we did say a lot of them were looking good. 4 hour very extended here, so maybe we do just trade a bit of sideways. 10 on in the shorter term. 10 hour is going to be very extended to the upside. Oh, not as extended as it could be, still got some room to run. 12 hour though, all the room to run, all the room to go. This is gonna this is what I think is potentially going to get us up to that 50,000 and beyond. Again, with daily holding up there, can easily just hold up here. 2 day as well can easily hold up where it is as well, and then 3 day very extended. It's very extended, but it is still up there. 5 days still got room to run. Weekly just got all the room to run. So yeah, I mean it is looking good, but like I said, let's keep everything in the perspective of anywhere, just in this perspective of, have we put in a macro high here? Is this bull run high? Is this going to be the first low? Is this going to be somewhere in here, the next lower high, and then are we going to take out and put in a lower low? Just let's not lose sight of the forest for the trees, because yeah, we're not out of the woods to keep on using forest-based analogies or whatever they're called. But yeah, so there we go. But generally speaking, things looking good. I mean, I'd expect we're going to get to 50, probably going to get to 53, 52, 53 before we then have a bit of a medium-term downtrend, see where it goes. Does it bring us all the way down to 40, 42, or do we make our way up towards the 58,000? I mean, at that point, I would struggle to see we are going to be in a trading range between 42 and 58. That is a bit extreme. I would be concerned if we did get up towards 58, came back down, and then we came down to 42. I feel like we would be breaking it and coming lower. I think that is too wide. I mean, there's obviously well, in my mind, how I look at charts, how I look at price action, which is just based on looking at other previous charts and price action, there is sort of a Goldilocks scenario for a trading range. This is obviously, as I was saying, this is too small, this is too narrow, this is probably about right, and this is potentially too big. If we made our way from the top to the bottom of a trading range that size, I would actually speculate that we are in a downtrend and going to keep coming down at that point. So yeah, there we go. So this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.